Boom! We're live. Welcome back to Saint LFCTV with your boy Saint. Yeah, it's a mad one. It's a mad one. We had a very, very weird weekend, and I needed the gang with me in order to really dissect this up. So, listen, I'm here. It's the LFC catch-up show, and let's get into it. Boom! And we're back. Saint LFCTV with your boy Saint. Before we get into anything, guys, anyone that's in here that hasn't subscribed already, please subscribe. Hit 200 subscribers over the weekend, so I'm very chuffed. A lot of my positive energy is coming from that, not the football. Anyone else like? Let's get into the comments. So, with no more further ado, let me introduce the gang. Theo, how you doing, bro?
Oh, as good as I can be after that weekend, but honestly, football.
Nah, don't worry. We're here. It's a therapy session, bro. It's a therapy session. We're going to get into all of that. Don't worry about that. My man like Monts. What you saying?
Yo, bro. How we doing, man? Not too bad. Probably one of the worst times. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm in the Liverpool training kit today because that's how we play our games. In our training
I've been checking up on you as well. I've been actually checking up on you, just making sure you're all right. You know, them ones that people... I care about you, man, there. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, isn't it?
My brother, Safe. What are you saying, my guy? Come on.
You guys wearing Liverpool training kit. I got black top on, black trousers, black hat. I'm in mourning, brother. I am mourning tonight.
None of that. I said I'm doing it plain Jane today. I can't even. Well, every time I look down at Monts's Liverbird, I'm just allow it, bro.
Yeah, so I just do this one so you can't see the badge.
Yeah, please. You know what? Yeah, I'm bringing a lot of positive energy. Yeah, let me get someone in here that's gonna slap my positive energy down real quick with some realism. Say, hey, Nick, what you doing? Come on, man, like Conway, what you saying?
I'm getting a bad reputation now. I'm getting a really bad reputation. I'm the guy. I'm the Grim Reaper.
Nah, Conway, you're not the Grim Reaper at all, man. You're the one that we need. Sometimes you need someone to. Otherwise, if we never had brethren like you, everyone would think that they were superstars. You need someone to be like, listen, no. You know,
it'd be like Arsenal fans. It'd be like the Arsenal fans.
Exactly. Our heads in the cloud and that. Right, listen, guys, thanks for joining me today, man. And like I said, to be very honest with you, I said it in jest, but there's a lot of truth in it. I want this to be a bit of a therapy session, man. I know that all of us we're not in the best of places, so sometimes they say it's best to just talk it out. You know what I mean? I don't really have a plan to throw it all out the window. I said, nah, you know what? I'm just gonna roll with the vibes, innit? We've got Monts with us up until 5:30, and then he's got to go and he's in demand. He's got to go and do something, and then we've got Bizzo Bon gonna come in. So listen, we've got quite a few, man. There's quite a few things to talk about. So I'm gonna go around. I'm probably gonna kick it off. Let's start with the Chelsea game, innit? Let's start with the Chelsea game. You know what? Nah, I'm not even going to kick it off. Theo, take it away, mate.
Oh God.
We'll come back to me. Thoughts on the lineup. Thoughts on the lineup when you seen the lineup against Chelsea.
Well, he just obviously went into Chelsea maybe a bit more confident after winning at Sheffield United, and then he hadn't really. We used this from Klopp. He doesn't really change much. He doesn't really. He's quite stubborn. And then we go out, and I think the first 5-10 minutes, we started looking good. I was thinking maybe the team will play better today, but then it all ended up being just like we'd seen in the last 5 games before that, or whatever at home. And it just turned into the exact same thing. And then obviously they got the goal, and we just didn't look like scoring at all.
I hear that. I agree with you. Shout out man like Shawnee inside, one of my original man them from early. So shout out and Hendo season, all of you. I see you. Darren, Darren was supposed to be on this show and rang me up and was like, mate, work's been killing him. So and I needed some of that Irish tones, man. Just the way Darren just puts
Big up
things
Darren,
together.
man.
Bro, big up Darren each
Big
and
up
every
Darren,
time,
still.
man.
Big up Darren.
Trust me, bro. He's on the bus right now. He could look to someone and say, sorry, mate, you can't sit here, and they'll just be like, all right, no worries. Just the way he puts it together is amazing, bro. So months, man. Chelsea game. What was you saying, man?
Well,
in terms of let's start it off. Let's start it off in terms of what was you thinking going into the game, and then what was you thinking when the lineup came up?
Do you know what? Going into the game, for me, it was a cup final. Only because you went at the time when you looked at the table, you go, whoever wins this, that's their shot at the top four. Flat out. It doesn't matter who wins the next game. That was this game points wise was massive. So
especially with what happened with all the other teams around.
Exactly. So I could see why Klopp's put out his usual, the same 11 he went for at Sheffield United. I see why he pretty much went for almost the same team. So I was quite confident in the sense that, do you know what? From last week's performance, we're looking all right. However, that over-the-top ball was killing us. It was killing us. And
you were thinking that before? So before the game started, you was already thinking that, yeah?
Yeah, because Sheffield United were doing it, but it's just because they had McBurney up top that they weren't bagging. See what I'm saying? So I was thinking, cool, if Chelsea are going to hit that over-the-top ball, it's not going to have to have as lot of, it's not going to have doesn't have to have quality on the ball. It just needs to be over the top, and we're going to struggle. We have no pace at the back. So, and then what did they do? They sort of just exploited that, and the rest of the game just played out. Mane was just... I told you Mane can't start, by the way. For those of you who remember the last time I said Mane cannot start.
You did say that.
And I don't know, he's just gone back to Southampton for a few months. I don't know what's happened to him. So.
No, how are we talking about? Southampton Mane was on bits, bro. Southampton Mane was on crud.
Against us.
Bro, he was on crud, bro. Man, like safe. It's good to see your face again, man. It's been a little while. What's good? What are you saying? You all right?
Man, if you're asking me about that Chelsea game, though, yeah, the best analogy I can think of right now is we've been dreaming for the last 2 years. And the last few games have been someone trying to wake us up. And that Chelsea game was the slap. Wake up. It's 2 p.m. You're meant to get up at 10 a.m. You wake up, look around, and you're like, oh, crap, what the hell's going on? That's how that Chelsea game felt for me. It was horrible. But to be honest, yeah, like...
Before the game, was you thinking... What was your feelings before the Chelsea game, though?
You know what? I've learned, yeah, and Conroy's probably explained it to me the nicest way. I'm a very delusional fan. So no matter what's going on, yeah, but he's very real.
We're all right. We're gonna do this.
every game, yeah. But that Chelsea game was the one that was just like, you know what, like we got a serious problem. Like
that's what's happened. That's what's happened. I'm looking at Safe. I'm like, bro, Safe's broken. Are you all right, bro? That's what's happened. That Chelsea game broke you, right? Okay, I get it.
Yeah, literally. I don't need a goal to do it for me, man. I got Liverpool doing that for me already, bro.
I hear that. Look at the smile.
No, the reason I'm smiling is I was doing the dishes last night, having a wee glass of wine, and I was listening to Saint's video last night, and I kind of felt like he was more negative than me. He was having a Conroy special last night because he was absolutely fuming. So
That's
I just
how
thought
I
I'd
feel.
mention that.
No. Listen, Conroy, I to be very honest with you, I think I owe you a slight apology, bro. You have been on the money for some time, and much like Safe, I've just been trying to hold this like, nah, come on, like things can't be that bad. You know what I mean? And yeah, yesterday was my breaking point. Anyone, go and check out my my review that's up. I'll put it up.
It was good, mate. I enjoyed it. It was a good video, but really good.
Unfortunately, talk to me, Conroy. This is your go. Talk to me.
See, the thing is, mate. See, like. I know I talk about it and I say football's no rocket science and all that, but see the thing is, top teams, like see if you don't watch Liverpool right now and you go and watch other teams, even when teams are playing very bad or even teams are not creating much, you can tell there's a sense they know what they're doing. Like Fulham yesterday, we made Fulham look like Barcelona. I'll not get into the Fulham game, but in general, when I've been watching it now, the worrying signs it's just a cycle. It's just a cycle, guys. So what will happen is Liverpool beat a Spurs or a West Ham and then like, this is we're back now, and then we'll lose a few games, then we'll have another flash in the pan against Sheffield United, then we'll lose a few games. I've actually been, yep.
What is it that's making us win those games? Those games that we go and win I
think they're going there as well, mate. I think they're going as well. I think the Sheffield United was just, at the time I thought it was the 3-2-5, it was really good, but no, I've looked at it again. It was really good tactically, but I just think it was a case of they're just that poor a side because, as Mont said, McBurney got in a few times. So every top 10 teams in the Premier League, they've all got a good striker. They've all got a number 9, unlike Liverpool, but that's not the point. They've all got a good striker. So when you verse anyone in the top 10, you're going to get exploited playing that high line if you've not got defenders good enough. See, to be honest, mate, it's been, 7 games since West Brom or whatever, longer than that, and this keeps happening. The thing I'm worried about is Klopp's obviously changing and trying different things, but nothing seems to be working. So I usually come on and say, we do this, do that. I don't have a clue now. At the end of the day, this is for top managers, because I've looked into it and I don't know what we can do at the moment. I don't know if any of you want to chime in on that, but I keep saying change the formation, and people keep telling me it's the mentality.
Low block, comrade, bro. Low block.
Shout out Bizzo in the house.
But that's not, how you doing, Bizzle? But that's not an excuse, Monts. Like, loads of teams play low blocks. Like, you never hear, is that a small club mentality? Possibly it is, because I don't think that's an excuse. You're against someone whose job is to stop you winning a game or to try and beat you. So if they do a low block, Liverpool should never train with any space in their life then. That's no stupid thing I've heard. They should train against like a 10 men behind the ball. It's just, for me, I don't know what it is. I'm starting to question what I see. I think it may be the mentality, mate, and maybe they're done. There's maybe a reason Robbo and Henderson are still hungry. The rest maybe are just done. Maybe they've not got that fight for the season. Who knows?
Before I go to Bizzo, right? You did say that everyone's got a top striker, and everyone does, including City, who do but don't at the moment. But I wanted to say, like, City cut through us like a hot knife through butter, and they didn't have one striker on the pitch. Personally, like I said in my review, we want to touch up the ball so much. I don't understand why we want to touch up the ball so much.
Poor as well, mate. So poor.
It's so poor. What we could do with one pass, we want to do 4 touches, and if you're looking at people's movement, like I know they lost. I know City lost to Man United yesterday.
I watched
when I was flicking. Mate, when I'm looking at them, the way the ball's moving and no one's sitting there touching it all 3 times and then looking and here you go, here's the ball. I'm going to move to somewhere, give you a passing avenue. Before you know it, I'm over here. And do you know what I mean? It's craziness. We don't have nothing going on. So regardless of the strikers that are doing it for us, we could face anyone and it's just all in front. It's just all in front of them. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Bizzo, how you doing, my guy?
All right, mate. Thanks for having me on. Sorry I'm late.
Nah, don't be silly, man. Listen, Valentine's available now, right? Am I right?
It is on all major platforms.
It is. All major platforms. Go and stream that, man. Please, man. Support the gang. So Bizzo, listen, I'm going around talking to people. I'm trying to go in chronological order. It's a madness. People just want to go. Let's start at the Chelsea game. I've been speaking to a few of these guys. I haven't actually spoken to you. So I want to actually know from you. What was your thoughts on the Chelsea game prior, going in, seeing the lineup? Talk to me.
I was quite confident, to be honest. I thought we had the right team, in my opinion, the right lineup. I thought Chelsea looked quite weak, specifically up front. I thought the front three wouldn't really have done us any problems. I thought we would have played all right, and I thought that was the game for me. That's where you could potentially start a resurgence back into the top 4. That's the game. That's the game you needed to win, to really keep you up there and help build your confidence. That was the game to end this dreary run of home defeats. That was the opposition to beat, to give Thomas Tuchel his first defeat. Everything was set up for us to win, and it just all went completely pear-shaped, really, and it was. I mean, every game recently at home's been pretty embarrassing to watch. It's been very difficult to watch as well, considering how prolific we were beforehand. it's just been it's a bit crazy how things have turned out, and you can put it down to a lot of factors, but we shouldn't be playing this bad now. This is just we're running out of excuses now, and we're running out of people to blame, and it's just going to end up damaging us even more in the long term.
Do you think that there's something ultimately broken with us? Because I say that to say Monts has touched upon it. This was the game, the Chelsea game I'm talking about. That was the game. Anyone could see. Stevie Wonder would know that this is the game. Like, for all those reasons that you said. And then to have your manager come out and say, I put Milner on because I needed to shake the players up. Like, I'm sorry, what? Like, would this is the game. If there was any game this season that you're like, lads, we need to do this. And yet do you know what I mean? I mean, we seem like a far removed from the mentality monsters that we claimed we were. So that's why I asked that question. What would you say?
I think the biggest thing that I've seen is the players just look absolutely shot. And when I say shot, I mean like it seems as though I'm watching a team crawling to the finish line of the season and desperate for the season to end. That's how I perceive it when I watch us play now. There's no intensity. There's no fluidity of our play anymore. We're very disjointed because of all the patches and areas where we're just not full strength and we're really struggling. And it's from a fatigue point of view, I just think it's really bad now. Like, it's getting to the point where we're just running to the ground and we just have nothing to offer. And if we're not scoring in the first 10 minutes of a game, it's going to be an issue when it gets to 60, 70 minutes, because we're going to either concede or we're going to have to try and hold out for a 0-0. We just offer nothing, particularly in the latter parts of the game at the moment. It's really difficult to watch. And then I think cue that with the injuries and the players returning, but yet when you've got a player returning, you've got another injury coming in. So you've got Fabinho coming back into midfield, but you've got no Kabak at the back anyway. So we're just struggling in all areas of the pitch at the moment, and it is showing massively. Like, it's very difficult to watch, particularly after the last couple of seasons we've had as a team and as supporters. We're definitely not used to this. Not been used to this for a very long time. So.
Trust me. Shout out the ops gang in the building, bits and bobs. Yeah, I know. Trust me. Cookie Crumble FC. Apparently, to be honest with you, you're not wrong. Yeah, we're not even going to talk about Man United right now. Theo, I'd like to touch up on man like Shawnee's point here. And just let me know what you think. He says playing the high line is exposing the weakness of Phillips, Williams, and Kabak. We all love Klopp, but he's throwing the CBs under the bus, and it's clear to see that they're low block defenders. What would you have to say in retort to that, Theo?
I mean, yeah, I agree, and like this high line has been a problem since before we even had these injury problems. We saw it especially in that Villa game where we had a full strength defence, and even then it was causing us a problem, and it continued to do so. And I think most Liverpool fans have made comments on it, but it's never changed. And yeah, I think that's another thing on how stubborn Klopp is. He just never changes his tactics really, and he did the same when he was at Dortmund, and he paid the price there. So I'm hoping he can start to change something more often, and we can start to pick up points towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, bits and bobs is savage, bro. Like, but yeah, I really hope that is.
Can I add to that? So, see
go ahead,
right?
Connery.
Like, shout out to bits and bobs, but the actual thing is, Cookie Crumble FC. But even when we've been in the gutter with Hodgson, we never lost that. Like, if you lost at home to a team in the relegation zone, it would still be terrible. And this is the crazy thing right now. We're in this limbo. As I think Mont said, if anyone's going to do this, it's Liverpool, because that's the Liverpool way. They just do things difficult. We can't just maintain it at the moment. But I don't know, guys. Like, who knows? Who knows? The thing is, the hardest part right now is we all used to come with suggestions and that, but right now, I'm going to come out and say something in the next couple of weeks that rival fans have been saying, and I'm going to start to agree with it soon if it keeps going at this rate. And there's no defence for this team if you keep going the way they're going. Because I know Mourinho finished 10th, but at this rate, I can't see us winning a game at Anfield the next season. But who actually cares about that, though?
We've actually got one more loss. I think Prime, shout out Prime if you're in here. Like, Prime told me, he's like, you lot have got one more loss before you overtake us. I'm like, and how many of us, bro? I could see the loss coming from Wolves, Arsenal. Oh my god.
But see, the thing is,
Arsenal, you know.
see, the thing is, though, guys, don't bite to that, because at the end of the day, rival fans move the goalpost. You've not won the league, and as soon as you win the league, you need to win it twice to be great. Yeah, take a day off. I don't give. Can I swear? No, I was going to say something. I don't.
What do you mean? Swear, bro. How
No,
are you not
let it out,
on
let it
the
out,
Brighton
bro.
right now?
No, I'm at work. I
Let
need to be
it
kind of
out,
composed.
bro.
I can't be slamming the screens at work. But what I was going to say is, just smile at them, because all they want to do is get you. Just rival fans move the goalposts. You win the league, or you've never won the league. Then it's you need to win it twice. Now it's worst champions. How can they give a fuck if we're worst champions? I'd rather win the league and get relegated. Well, not get relegated, but like than finish 15th and not win the league. And then who cares?
You know the funniest
Genuinely,
thing,
who cares,
Conway?
mate? Who cares?
The funniest
honestly.
thing, Conway, right, is I'm gonna say the wrong analogy. I'm pulling my hair out, obviously not. But the thing is, I'm crying inside. But let's just say I'm over 30, innit? I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy. If you'd have offered me this beforehand, I probably would have taken it.
Who cares,
Mate, the
mate?
last 2.5 years have just been absolutely madness. Like no fan recently has had as big of a period of time in football where you've dominated every competition that actually means something for so long.
Probably Munich's the only one. Bayern Munich, obviously, they won the Champions League there in the league. They're probably the only team who can
it's an
kind of
absolute farmers league, though, isn't it? It's a farmers league.
And I reckon we still would have beaten last season. I reckon
farmers
last
league.
season, if we didn't mess up at Atletico,
we would have.
I reckon we still would have had it.
Bear in mind, guys.
I agree.
He's only lost 2 games since he took over at Bayern, and Bayern were like 4th when he took over, and they've only lost 2 games since then, and they won the Champions League and the league. So you need to take the red glasses off sometimes and give credit where credit's due. But my point was going to say is on. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. It was a good point, Tay. What did you just say there, Nick? What did you say 2 seconds ago?
Mate, I talk a lot of shit. So I honestly couldn't.
No. But listen, guys. See when you hear about Blackburn fans and they won the Premier League, does anybody ever mention they finished 7th the season after? Because no one gives a shit, right? That's the truth. Honestly,
in all honesty, Conroy. In all honesty, I hear where you're going, but for the size of club that we are, I think in terms of retaining the Premier League, no one would have said anything if we were at least mounting some type of a charge. Do you know what I mean? No one would at the end of the day, you got
it's always something.
Our adversaries, Man City.
That's big club syndrome. It's big club syndrome because there's always going to be something. Not every club can say they've won it all. Let's be real. What club? Even City can't say they've won it all. So now that we've won it all, what's the next thing they can get us? It's simply, it's big club syndrome. Remember, I think it was about 2-3 seasons ago. Most hated. It's actually most hated. It's what it is. This comes with the badge. It comes with the badge.
I've kept this up for a while. Let me address it so I can move on to some comments because they're piling up. Safe. Is it something deeper within the club that us fans can't see, like Hendo season suggests? Shout out Hendo season as well. Big yourself up.
Well, there's I keep forgetting the coach's name, Pep Linders, yeah. And apparently, I'm not sure the truth behind this, but I've just obviously Twitter, not the most reliable place. But apparently, Pep Linders is trying to influence the team more than he should be doing, and Klopp doesn't like that and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure if that could be an influence or something. I'm sure always in any team, no matter how good or bad they're doing, there's always going to be an influence from different faces in the club. And to say that that's causing the downfall, that's not the only reason, but that could be something that's resulting in it, or that could have been something that's come as a result of the downfall. But it'd be something more than just performances, because we've got world-class players. And the thing is, I know a lot of people would disagree about me calling certain players world-class, especially because of the way they're playing this season. But we've seen they've got the quality to go as far as winning the Champions League. How many teams go to the Champions League 2 years in a row? We went to the Champions League final 2 years in a row, and then we won.
Wait. We went to Europa League the season before that as well.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. So you know what I mean? Like, we were on crud. On crud. Like, quickly, just one word answer. Theo, top 4?
No.
Months.
No chance.
Safe.
No chance.
Top 4? No. Conroy.
Mate, if we get top 10, I'll be buzzing right now. not even a joke. I don't know why he's allowed.
It's not a joke. Like, it's actually not. Like, our
Bizzo, what are you
fixtures
saying?
aren't
Top four?
easy.
Nah.
No, I don't think so. I want to say there's a slight chance, but there's just not anymore. It's just getting to that point where you're just gonna have to admit it. I just want the season to finish, mate. I'm more pissed.
Null and void, gang.
Yeah, I'm more pissed.
Not even null and void.
Euros
That's
happening.
not even null and void. That would be salty. Man City, you've done your thing. I just want you to be crowned already. Let's just allow the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, take the thing, make it blue. Do you know what I mean? And let's just move on to this season. But then at the same time, I caveat that with if we all sat here and could visibly see what was wrong, then yes. But we're sitting here like we have no idea. So is rushing the next season the best thing for us to really be doing?
Right. Can I just say, a lot of people want this season to end, but I would rather us have longer in this season to fix our issues towards the end of the season, so we can start the new season on a fresh page. Otherwise, we're going to end up taking this season's problems through to next season. And
Channing, you are smoking. Channing, I beg you, like, let me know what it is that you're on, because you must be the most
high grade
flavors, bruv. We're getting slapped by oh my god, bruv. Scott Parker is doing an absolute mazine in Anfield, and you think we're gonna get top four, bro? I hope you're wrong. And listen, if we are, I will sit there and I'll big you up. Believe me, I hope you're right. I really do. But yeah, I don't think it's that season. All right, so I'm gonna do it the other way. Going back up, Bizzo. What was your thoughts against you? Was it a case of, come on, like we have to, or were you sitting there thinking, flip's sake, man, it might be? Let me know. This is Fulham, by the way.
Again, when I saw the lineup, I thought, oh, he's actually trying something different. He's like listening to what everyone's screaming. Like, everyone wants him to try something new. Everyone wants a new tactic. Everyone wants us not to play the same three up front. So again, I was optimistic about it, and I thought, to be honest, we played quite well in the sense that we moved the ball around with a bit more urgency and a little bit more intent. But it just flopped again. It's mad. I just don't understand. I think it's just such a mixture of everything. Like the confidence, like the players weren't wanting to have a shot. It was like the only one that actually tried something a little bit optimistic was Jota, and it forced a big save out of the keeper for them. But when it comes to us attacking, it's like it's shocking to watch. It's push it out wide, get a cross in, hope for the best. No one's trying to attempt a shot. No one's like just trying to hit it outside the box. I can't remember the last time Liverpool scored a goal from outside the box, man. It drives me up the wall.
Bizzo, when was the last attempt from outside the box?
Exactly. When was the last attempt?
Come on, bro. Madness. Conroy, what was you thinking? What was your? I want to know what your thoughts were as soon as do you know what I mean? Going into the game, seeing the lineup, and then, do you know what I mean?
What, yesterday's game, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Be honest with you guys, quite happy. If Klopp's changing it now, it's a good thing. This thing about Klopp being stubborn, 100% true, but this thing that he doesn't change his tactics is that's false, because I'm not saying he doesn't change it on a whim, but Liverpool don't play heavy metal football. Again, this is highlight fans who say they do. They're more controlled since Pep Linders came in. Buvac was more high intensity, but yet again, people just watch the highlights, rival fans, and think they don't know what we're talking about. Like, you watch Liverpool, if anything, will slow down a bit. I'm not saying we can't press. You know what I'm saying, guys? Like, we're just not trained the whole anymore. No, like Dortmund was. And like Theo said earlier, it's like he's more stubborn when it comes to like see lower down managers who have to adapt all the time. Klopp's maybe fortunate in that sense because he's probably done it with Mainz, but it's more a case of he'll stick with something he knows. But if he's even changing it, and I was quite happy with the lineup, to be honest. Mane and Firmino, 100%. If they didn't get dropped, I think there would have been a revolt, because I don't think I've seen two players play so bad together in one game. So it was a case of Jota and Salah, and like, don't get me wrong, it kind of worked. But then when I watched the game, I don't know if you agree, guys, it felt very off the cuff, in the sense of kind in positions, but just do what you feel. That might be false of the tactics, but that's what it felt like. I thought Keita was quite good. But this is what I mean. We're clutching at straws. It's like we're trying to take a positive from losing 1-0 at home to Fulham because Shaqiri has a pop outside, and then Mane hits the post with a header that's never going in. But everyone will say that's a chance. It's
Yeah,
just,
I know,
it's
I know.
baffling, mate. And it's like,
It is true.
We shouldn't be celebrating one shot on target in a
I
game.
know,
It's
I know.
mental.
that's
Like,
You should have seen. I was on Ryan
LFC.
LFC's. I was on Ryan LFC's live stream on the Chelsea game. I shit you not, mate. First shot on target, 78 minutes, and we all went, ah, come on.
You see, this is the thing, guys. Look at the identity problem right now, because Mont is saying we're getting treated like it's a big club syndrome. But after a game, Twitter, I think there's too many excuses FC on Twitter. Any excuse, give me that, I'll use that. It's past the injuries excuse, right? You can.
True.
Hodgson's team didn't lose 6 games, didn't even lose many games. Probably they lost, they were terrible. But losing at Anfield is still meant to be this thing that you don't do, and that's out the window. You know what I mean? I feel like. I don't know what we can do. That's the biggest problem, because he's tried something different. I'd maybe say Jota needs more games, obviously, anyway, because you can't expect Jota to come back and be firing. He looked quite tired towards the game. I don't know. Like, I feel like saying just play a 4-4-2 or try something. It's like, I don't think we've actually. Yeah, I know, but we've not even played a 4-2-3-1 yet. No, really, because he's done it before,
really,
but he done it with Diamond. He didn't do it like properly.
You touched. Sorry, go on, Bizzo.
No, I was just going to say the only glimmer of hope you've really got at the moment is the fact that you've got the likes of Keita and Jota. Keita had 90 minutes the other night, which is quite encouraging, and you can tell that we have missed that kind of flair in a player, as well as Jota as well. Jota is a clinical finisher, and to have him back to full fitness can only be a good thing. Now, and the other thing is Fabinho actually coming on and going into midfield was another positive to take from it. Now, there's 3 factors there that you can say, right, if we can build on this, then there is a chance for some positive performances and some good results. And we just need that. We just need to build on that. That's what we need to focus on. You can focus on only having one shot on target and having no defenders and injuries and all that as much as you want. But you've got to kind of like look at some form of positives to kind of build on. And I do think there are three there that could potentially push us on into a decent position. But it's a stretch at this moment in time with how bad we're playing.
Shout out Jersey boy. I was literally just talking about you and us celebrating the first. No, Jersey boy lost his mind, mate. First shot on target. My man was doing backflips. I said, boy, we have dropped considerably. Just before I go to safe, Chad, there's a mad debate going on in the chats about whether we're going to finish top 4 or not. And Channing FC, this is a very flippant thing you say. We just need 3 games to win, bro. Come on, common sense, brother. We ain't won 3 games since the beginning of the season. Since Leeds, Arsenal, and Chelsea, we have not won 3 games.
He said 3.
He said 3, brother.
He
said 3. We ain't done it. So for you to just like say it so flippantly, like, come on, all we need, bro, we're dying for that right now. We're dying. We were dying for that when we beat Tottenham and West Ham. We nearly did it, and then we had to go and draw and that. You know, them ones there. So we still haven't actually done it. So I think we're finished. Sorry, Safe. Tell me what in terms of Fulham. One thing, sorry, before you do answer. I'm going to say, like, for me personally, I was so happy when I saw Keita in front of the opponent's 6-yard box. And even though he wasn't completing them passes he was attempting, he was trying to do, was so lovely to see. Like, oh my God, at least we have some impetus. Do you know what I mean? And I do think that Keita and Jota kind of are, do you know what I mean, are pretty good. I've got a question to ask. Who's writing the letter to Buvac, like to say, "Yo, big man"?
mate, I'm not even joking, right? I was literally on my phone, like Googling where he's at now. I'm not even joking. It's on my Wikipedia.
Bro, I don't have the best handwriting, so bro, I'm on it though. I'm really on it because
he's director of football at Dynamo Moscow, I think.
There has to be some correlation.
Those bridges are fun.
Bro, like, Safe, what are you saying, man? Fulham game and your thoughts on our demise and what's really going on.
Well, I mean, after the Fulham game, I was fuming, and that's more because I was on the channel with a Chelsea fan just trying to take me off the whole time. Conroy saw me, I blew at him for like a solid minute or two. But you know what? Realistically, thinking back at that game now, I'm actually, and I know this sounds really weird, but I'm kind of happy with that game.
No, carry on, guys. 1 second, sorry. Go ahead,
No,
go ahead.
I'm kind of happy with that game, yeah. And I know it sounds like such a wild statement, but seeing Navigator start, seeing the change of formation, like I said before the game in some of the streams, that if we change something and still lose, at least I know we're trying something new and a bit more of a drastic change, and we actually did that. And yesterday was one of the first times I've watched Liverpool and felt like we're going to score a couple goals. Obviously, we don't score goals often, but it was the first time in a while that I've seen our attack be a bit more fluid. I've seen our midfield connect very well. And I know Conroy is right, yeah, we're clutching at straws in terms of looking for positive things in games, but that is the difference between us and other teams. We always look for positives so we can build on them. Because if we sit there, and obviously we've got to sit there and criticise, but I feel like we can take more positives from the Fulham game than the game before that. And I know it sounds like a very Brendan Rodgers thing to say that, or at least there were some positives in the game. But the truth is, yeah, Navigator was playing out of his skin. Like, for him to come back, considering I know he's been out of football for what? For I think since like October or something.
Oh, wow. A while.
Yeah. So he's been out for a long time, yeah. To see him in that game, controlling the game the way he did, he managed to keep up. In fact, he was actually controlling the tempo of our team at times. And for someone to come in, play 15 minutes against Sheffield when we're already 2-0 up, so pretty much come on in a non-important time, and then come into a game like this was fantastic, the way he played. But the only thing I have to say about that change of formation is I'm not sure if that was Klopp, or the change of players rather. I'm not sure if that was Klopp actually changing up the players because we need to try something new.
Being like, I don't have nothing else. So.
Or no, but the thing is, I reckon he's just done it because of the Champions League, and it's just kind of coincidental. Like, all right, I might calm the fans down a little bit. The Champions League I've got coming up, so I'll rest these players. But
guys, do you not think that's a problem as well? Because a lot of people have been saying, like, and say if I agree with you, different competition, I completely agree with that, mate. But see this thing about switching it on and off, I don't know if that works. If because
we can't build momentum like that.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is Leipzig. I think the Leipzig game away, they played into our hands, and we got 2 fortunate goals. So I don't know if we played better against Leipzig or it just appeared we played better. I know we played better, but I don't know if that was because of the circumstances. Because again, we didn't break a team down. We got
I agree. And we didn't really craft any chances. And I to be honest with you, I think we're going to get beaten by Leipzig. I think we'll go through, but I don't see us winning that game. Shout out M Millsy. James sent me here as I watched Alex and you on his show. Thank you very much. Shout out James Redmond each and every time. Now that you're here, bro, stay with us and subscribe, man. I'd love that. So listen, Monts, bro, I spoke to you beforehand, didn't it? I knew this was going to happen, bro. I knew what time it was. I mean, I'm cracking jokes like we need Buvac back. I don't know. I'm looking at my Jordans. I'm looking at all my Nike trainers. Like, you done this to us, man. I need to go get some New Balance things. Like, you know them ways there. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just reaching, bro. I'm reaching, but.
I'm gonna start. Go on.
No, this is your time, bro.
I'm gonna start with this. We didn't control the tempo. I personally think we didn't control the tempo of the last stages of that Fulham game. They sat back. We didn't control that game. They sat back. When people come up against Liverpool nowadays, they don't really think, oh yeah, we're better than them. We're better than them player for player. I don't think anyone actually thinks that. I think it's more so, I think everyone here has probably all played football and seen that when you know you have the better of someone, it's going to give you that extra confidence. And as what's his name said in the interview, they wanted it more. I just think that they wanted it more. The goal was coming, and when I looked at certain patterns of play, especially when we were getting beaten by the same old over-the-top ball, it was Lookman versus both the Williams boys, and it's just like, you could tell by the body language every time they fancy their chances in a one-on-one. Everyone fancies their chances against our defenders, maybe apart from Robertson, they fancy our chances against all our defenders in a 1v1. Do you see what I'm saying? I hate to go back, I don't want to mention Van Dijk, but you don't want it in a 1v1. You just don't want it in a 1v1.
No, bro, not a chance. No way.
People aren't even going to try and run at you. They're not even going to try it, bro. So
from the tunnel. from the
Yeah,
tunnel.
from the tunnel,
Not
they're
even
looking
on
at
the
my man
pitch.
like this.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
long
good
for
still.
man today, you know?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
long
good.
for man,
So,
bro.
and it doesn't like I was looking at Reece and people saying, "Oh, do you know what? He had a good game. He didn't have a good game. He did not have a good game in my eyes. There were times where Lookman had him on skates. He's trying to block the shot when he's already faked it, and I'm
Definitely.
looking like literally. For me, it was really hard to watch. But I'm not gonna be completely negative. I'm glad Klopp did change the formation, and I'm glad there was a change in personnel. What the things I would like to see is that I didn't think Shaqiri had a terrible game because he was trying things. He had a few shots. He looked probably one of the more likely in our team. But now that we are playing a cam, now it's time for Bobby to go in that cam. Bobby can actually go there now, and we can actually try play with two strikers. And another thing I want to touch on is player trust. I don't think certain players trust each other anymore, and I say that because the second Fabinho came on, people wanted to trust each other and wanted to start spraying 60
I
yarders.
lie.
They wanted to
I
start spraying
lie.
it. They wanted to
I
start
lie. You
doing
look
this.
better, innit?
And I might be and I might be contradicting myself and saying, yeah, Fulham sat back. But Fabinho was winning certain tackles in the midfield with them long ass legs that he has. He was winning certain tackles in the midfield. And remember, even though we moved the ball really well at our best, when we was dominant for these 2.5 years, we moved the ball really well. We played very, very good football. But our goals, I wouldn't even say our goals came from tiki-taka, breaking down teams. Our goals either came from the wing-backs, from the overlaps, or it came from winning the ball high and punishing teams. Fabinho was that point, that focal point of winning the ball high. When he's round you and he wins the ball high, lays the ball off to Firmino, Salah, Mane are off. We aren't a team that have been breaking down. We don't break down defenses unless maybe to the latter stages of the game when we've wore a team down and they're now tired. So if we can keep Fabinho in that midfield position, in that holding midfield, and win the ball high, all we need now is to just integrate Thiago back because Milner's lost his legs. That's just the way I see it. Maybe get Thiago back on the pivot now. So once he won that ball high, Thiago hopefully makes that right
It will
decision.
be the same. It will be the same.
Yeah,
Like him and Goretzka.
yeah.
Fabinho will play that role for him, and he
Yeah,
can do his thing.
this
No,
is
I
what
get
I'm
it.
saying. Just win the ball high because right now I don't see us scoring from too many crosses. So the only way I've seen us scoring over the 2 years, like the most prolific way, is winning that ball high. So if I'm gonna get any positives from the game, it's get Reece Williams out of the team because I just don't think he's good enough. I hope he can grow as a player. Get Trent in because even though I don't think Nico Williams is too bad, I did prefer Hoover a lot more. I thought he was very much superior
I agree.
to Nico Williams.
Yeah.
But
Nico
again,
Williams just doesn't seem mobile. Is it me? He just doesn't seem
he'll do a step
mobile.
over and he doesn't move. Like he does a
Yeah,
step over and
it's
shifts
just like
it, and the defenders just standing there like, oh, okay. Would you? Yeah.
Listen, shout out everyone that's locked inside. Please, I'm so grateful, man. And can you slap a like on the video? Be even more grateful. Theo, I wanna try and put this question that man like Shawnee's put up. Opinions on Salah playing through the middle. He started rightly, but then he got isolated by their back three. Do you want to pick up on that point and your thoughts? And also your thoughts on Big Shaq's role in the game as well. What did you think of Shaqiri?
Well, yes, starting with the
Salah.
Yes, like I said, he did start by and he was creating chances, and he did have a few times I thought he probably should have scored and definitely could have scored, but yeah, he did sort of start to get isolated, but I'm not sure if that's directly like personal to him and what him playing there, because we've seen it with pretty much anyone who we've put up front in the last few games. They just haven't been able to score, and they've just been easy to read. So I think maybe if we were to, I keep saying it, putting Firmino attacking midfield and then put Salah up top and then Jota and Mane out wide and seeing how that works. But yeah, with Shaqiri, I think whenever Shaqiri's played for us this season, he's looked like looked like creating things, and he's putting in a solid performance. I mean, obviously, I can't really look at anyone from the Fulham game and say they had a brilliant performance. Probably the best for me was Naby, but I think Shaqiri, yeah, he was all right, and I think if he continues to get game time, it'll be a lot better because he can't be out for ages and then come back
and then come in. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Who was the who would you have said was the worst of the front three for you, in your words, in your thoughts, Dio?
It's like, throughout last season, this season, everyone has been saying Firmino, and he's our striker and he scored 1 goal at Anfield on the last game of the season, that's last season, and then in games against like Palace we've seen glimpses of the old Firmino, but yeah, he hasn't been good at all this season. But I think the one who goes a bit more under the radar when he has a bad performance is Mane, because he's been so good for us over the last few seasons, and then so people don't register that he's had a bad performance because they're like, oh yes, Mane's been world class. So I think between Firmino and Mane, but I think Mane doesn't get as much criticism as he probably deserves because people just assume that he's so good.
Well, that's good. Now I say that I'm going to bring this up quickly before because this is a contentious point, and it's a free for all. Man, you can go. I want to know, right, before I lose Mons, because I know Mons has got something to say. I personally have now come to the point where, okay, we haven't won the Premier League, right? And we've now finally got a crop of players who have won us the Premier League. And just the type of fans that we are and the type of club that Liverpool is, we look very favourable on those players who have done so. My point is, I think that we are maybe looking at these players slightly over exaggerated than what they are, and we hold them in great esteem because like these are our players. I go to Theo's point, like Mane being, he's done so much for us that, and I'm not gonna have it that he wasn't at his peak the best, not even the best winger. He was the best player at times. You know what I mean? In the Premier League. I want to say this. I am now ready to come out and say Mane needs to be sold in the summer. I'm prepared. Yeah. Safe, brother. Listen, man, don't hold no punches out here, bro. This isn't clickbait. This isn't. I'm saying this right, and I wanna. Bro, I wish I could show you the amount of Mane tops that I have, bro. That I've spent money with Mane on the back of my shirt. This brother's God to me. I kind of slightly went bald because I wanted to try and do his trim and that. Like, listen, I'm telling you, yeah.
I'm back here, yeah.
Listen, I'm telling you, yeah. This guy is amazing. The only thing is, I just would like. I am a Liverpool fan. Before a Mane, a Salah, anyone, I'm a Liverpool fan. I love my club. I want my club to go back and have a little bit of ruthlessness in it. I want to know how long do you call bad form? And I don't know what the period is, but I wouldn't say that Mane's been informed the whole of this season. I haven't seen Mane beat a man the whole of this season. Maybe even a little bit before that. I'm talking beat a man. Beat his right back. Ain't beat him. No one can't tell me a game when he has. And this is his game. Now, in terms of other things that he brings, he will always track back. He will always work hard. That's him. But in what we need him to do, I think he's slightly over the hill. I said this to James Redmond, the person who pretty much is in all of our consciousness because of Mane. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, listen, I agree. He's slightly over the hill. Now, if you can admit that someone is over the hill, then what's the difference in getting rid of him in the summer when he's one of the few people that you could actually get some decent money from? What I would hate is we keep him a season and then people go, yeah, you're right, maybe we should have got rid of him that season.
I don't think he's over the hill, though. I don't think he's over the hill. I just think
That's me.
I don't agree.
Go in it. Like, you heard my point. He hasn't beaten a man all season. And how long is bad form? Like, in terms of what we need him to do.
Look at
Hazard ain't been the same Hazard since, though. Hazard ain't good now.
No, I'm talking about the season. He had a season.
Mourinho put the tools down for a year, then won with Conte. So no, Mane for me, I'm not worried about Mane. I just think he just has forgot how to play football. I don't think it's anything to do with
team has.
Yes, but Mane's. You know what I hate? I hate when fans say, "Oh, he's trying really hard." Though I'm like, he's trying too hard because he's actually
trying too hard.
That he's missing the ball. Did you see his one yesterday? A shot in the box, missed it. He'll be fine. Mane will be fine, right?
When Mane starts missing opportunities,
done.
Iniacho is putting away. It makes me very, very weary. Bro, I'm telling you, Conroy, you thought I was gonna bring out the big guns all along.
Let me just tell you, like, bro, like whenever a player does have like a big dip of form, because look at Aubameyang this season. I've never thought Aubameyang was anywhere near Harry Kane, but that was the argument last season, right? It was Aubameyang Kane, and when you look at footballers and when they're going through a bad patch, they still have moments of brilliance. Do you know what I mean? They still have these little moments of brilliance. And if you look at the start of the season, Mane didn't have a bad start to the season. I think he started the season quite, he's sound, he's doing a job.
It wasn't, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he was. And he wasn't on fire. Yeah. He's not. He was on fire.
Conroy. Conroy. Don't do that, bro. We'll get back to that. Let me land
because Mane's been back healing it over keepers. But let me finish. But when I saw Hazard have a really iffy season, and I think he only got about 4 goal contributions for the whole season, it was really bad. It was really, really bad.
Horrendous.
It was awful. And then to see him I'm not saying Mane is on Hazard's level, but at certain times, Mane, I do think was one of the best players on the planet. And right now, I'm very much in agreement. I think he's trying too hard. He's trying way too hard at this point. He's overplaying. He's thinking, oh, okay, if I beat him, what am I going to do next? When before, I think Mane is pretty much an instinct player. He doesn't need to think. He needs to.
If I beat him, he ain't beat no one.
Mane's fault is that he shouldn't think. He's an instinct footballer. We've watched him play. Am I wrong here in saying Mane's an instinct footballer? He plays on instinct.
But I think that's how you develop, though, Monch. The decision making comes better because then you get doubled up and you need to be better.
I still think he'll come good. And the reason I think he'll come good is that it's not just Mane putting in awful performances. This whole squad, the aura around the squad right now was so toxic, it's a joke. And if everyone was still putting in okay performances and Mane was just awful for the last 10 to 15 games, then maybe I'll be more on Nick's side and thinking
the players that you said to me, I think are shocking. You said Hazard. Hazard's never been prolific goal scoring. Never. No,
but I mean form-wise, Nick, though, he did that.
Form, I get
he
it.
Was awful that season.
He picked up. He was awful that season, but he's never been great. And then you talked about who was the other one that you said? Aubameyang. No, Hazard's never put in. Look at his numbers. He's never really. I think he's only really done
Nick,
like.
I can't, bro. Nick,
his numbers.
I hate to back up a Chelsea player, bro, but. Hazard, but
you know what I
mean? Need the numbers, bro.
No, this is what I'm saying. That's why. That's what we need. We need Mane to bang. We need Mane to bang. 1 second, and then Aubameyang. I don't want us to be Arsenal, bro. This is why I don't want us to be where Aubameyang is. This is what I'm saying.
100%.
Sorry, guys.
I think Bizzo's got something to say, so I did cut him off. I'm sorry, Bizzo.
No, it's all right.
Lads, I've got to shoot, by the way.
Oh, and I'm bro, listen, Mons, guys, please, can you go over to Big Six Bants, go and subscribe, go and show the boys some love. Mons, it was absolute pleasure having you, man.
Safe, Mons.
Pleasure, guys, yeah? Take care.
Take care, mate.
Yeah, I just wanted to say quickly with regards to the Mane situation. I think you've got to look at it from a statistical point of view in terms of his finishing and his goal contribution specifically this season. The fact that the simple fact of the matter is we are not creating anywhere near as many chances as what we have been doing for the last 2-3 seasons. And Mane isn't. I think it was Conroy. Conroy said he's not a great finisher. He does.
Change that. No, that's not what I meant. What I meant to say was Sorry, I mean, see at the start of the season how he still missed chances. I mean, Mane always has missed chances.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Statistically, if Mane misses 1 in 3 and we're only having 1 shot on target in a game, then he's obviously statistically not going to score as many.
He's always missing them. He's never like all the time.
I mean,
we were creating a hell of a lot more chances for them.
Yeah,
You know,
people forget, right? When Klopp first came to the team, we had a season where we really struggled to score against these low block teams at home. Like we struggle against the likes of West Brom. We'd struggle against the whoever it was at the bottom of the table at that time of the season, and we ended up getting to a breakthrough point of the season where we could actually beat these teams and we could score quite a few goals against them. Now we're in this position again where we're low on confidence, we're struggling to break down these teams, we're running out of ideas, and we just need to build on the creating chances aspect, as opposed to singling out players and saying Mane's not firing this season, or Salah's not firing as well as he is this season, or Firmino's not getting as many goals. The team isn't creating enough chances. That is the be-all and end-all of it. And that's because of a number of factors across the course of the season. It's because we've had certain players out of position. Like Mons was saying, Mons made a very good point about Fabinho when he's in midfield, how we win the ball high up the pitch and we can score in different ways. And it's the same with the wing-backs, etc. Everything just needs to click. I said this on the other stream the other night. Klopp's machine works. The machine works because we wouldn't be so dominant over such a period of time if it didn't work. The cogs in the machine at the moment aren't the right cogs for the machine, and we're putting the wrong cogs in the wrong position, so the machine isn't working as well as it normally does, and that's where we're at now. And it will. I have no doubt in my mind that this will get better. It's just a case of when it gets better. Like it will drag on for a while at the moment, I think, because we're still missing so many key elements to this machine. But it isn't going to be forever. It's not going to be we're not going to end up on this big decline where it's like, right, we need to sack the manager, we need to overhaul the players, we need to sell Mane, we need to get rid of Salah, we need to bring some fresh faces in. We do need to bring fresh faces in, but the likes of Mane and Salah are your fundamental reason why we've been so successful in terms of the goal contributions. And then once we can get these chances created again, then it should hopefully flow back again. That's how I see it anyway.
I hear that. Shout out Tony Kelly, who says that we overrated our team. It's a great team, but media made it worse by saying. Shout out Tony. He's always there, man. He says, is this what made it worse by saying it was one of the best Premier League teams ever? And he actually said something. He's actually had another point I can't find now, but I will pick up on it, bro. What's going on? Are we in? Is it a bit of a mirage? Like, are we in the desert needing water? We need a defender so bad that we collectively all just started thinking of this Davies. Is he actually a cardboard cutout? Is that actually what's going on? Because like, say, what's going on? Like, I don't understand. You know, I just want to make a point. Sorry, I know I'm talking about the Mane thing, but it kind of links into this. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
But if you look on our team right now, I feel like we're missing leaders big time. And Milner isn't your leader. Milner's your dad. Like, he ain't going to lead the team. Do you get what I mean by that, yeah? But Mane in particular, yeah, he relies on people around him to do well, to pull off a good performance. Hence why when we're making 30, 40, well, not 40, but when we're making 20, 30 chances a game, Mane's scoring a couple of them. But that's because the players around him are doing well. Mane, as great as he is, and last season, I think... there was a whole news article on how Mane is like the complete player and the best player to be in the squad. Attitude, amazing, plays well with the team, great technical ability, hard worker, all that sort of stuff. And he's got that about him. Right now he's going for a rough patch, but we've learned he's probably not a leader. And because he's not a leader or whatever, he needs people around him to do well. And I don't think right now is the time to sell him, because Henderson comes back in. To be honest, who else do we have in? Van Dijk as a leader kind of role comes back in. And suddenly you'll see a big change in the team. And I think that's going to pump, obviously, your Mane's. I think that's going to help Salah out a little bit as well. So I think what we need to do is make sure we don't panic. Because do you know people who trade stocks, for example, yeah? Let's just say like the pound drops massively. And suddenly you've lost like, let's just say $1,000 or something. You can sit there and panic and be like, I need to sell before I lose more. Or you can be like, all right, calm down. We know it's going to go back up. Like the pound usually sits up here.
This is what I want to just want to pick up on that point. Just want to pick up on that point right there that you just said. Don't panic because we know it's going to go back up.
Exactly.
Are we all in agreement?
We're fine.
Are we all in agreement? Are we all in agreement that Mane could, for whatever reason, replicate 18-19 season? Are we? That's what I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I thought we could.
Okay. I personally don't think so, and I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
No,
can I make a point on that? See what you're saying, Safe, right? The reason, probably, safe answer my question, the reason I feel that Manny will come back is that article's obviously not correct, though, because we might say, but if he has to rely on other people so much, he's obviously, I think we need to come to terms with it. I'm not saying we are just a system, but I think technically our front three are not as good as we make them out to be, in the sense of
That's what I was trying to say.
but it's the truth, guys. But I'm not saying
It's the truth.
I'm not saying we're like, I just mean that they're good technical players and they're maybe great in certain systems. And I'm not saying they're not great players, but what I mean by that is, like, see if Phil Coutinho, you could put Phil Coutinho in a team who is not playing well, but you could still see that he could be effective in that game. And I get what you're saying, Safe, with Manny, but that's why I'm not worried about it, because I think when the team gets back and we get maybe more competition in, that you see we're playing better football and then he'll come good again. But what I would say is that definitely lowers him as a player. If what they're saying is if he's that great, well, that's obviously not correct, because if he has to rely on other people, because Andy Robertson has probably been our top performer. It's not as if he's saying he can still do it and he had no defence next to him that he's played with. So what I mean by that is, I think Manny's top, but I think he'll be good again. But I just think you see now that there's certain players who suit certain teams, and I think you can. It's obvious with Manny, even Salah to a certain extent. But I still think Salah could play in a 4-3-3 somewhere else, similar to the way Klopp plays, and still score a lot of goals. But never score as many though, because you look at his Roma and that Liverpool system works specifically for Salah. But I didn't think Manny was that player, but I think you might disagree, guys. And I'm not saying he's a system player. I just think thought he was technically
better than he was.
Great, but he's maybe just technically very good. But
yeah.
that doesn't. Thomas Muller's not technically amazing, so it doesn't necessarily mean you're not a great player.
No, I get it. I get exactly what you're saying.
Hazard's technically amazing, right? But he's done fuck all at Madrid. Gareth Bale went there, smashed it. Hazard can't lace his boots. So it's like horses for courses. Like Thomas Muller got 20 assists last year. So it doesn't. I think that when I watch Manny now, what Mont said earlier, he's got 2 on him every time, and that's when players go from being great. You know, you say you don't think about it, but unfortunately football doesn't work like that, because you're against people who are also smart and know your weaknesses. So that's why you have to be good at decision making. And I always worried that Manny at Southampton, he was never great at decision making. But to be fair to him, for 3 years at Liverpool, he's been fantastic. But his weakness has always been decision making at times. And you could always tell that, because Liverpool used to create so many half chances, and if he played the right pass, would have been in. So that's what I think you've seen it. But it's back to what Bizzle says. I'm not worried, because I think when the team plays well, he'll start to play well again. I'm really not worried about Manny.
No, listen, no, go ahead, Bizzle.
Sorry, mate. That's the thing you've got to remember. Like, if you look at the squad as a collective, there's not one player that's like you can say he's having a great season. The whole team is playing poor, which is encouraging in a way, because it means that not one player is on a decline. The whole team are currently suffering as a collective. So naturally,
I hear what you're saying. I've looked at Manny, and I've looked at him as in isolation. Do you know what I mean? And there's just something in me with that's just saying it. We'll come back to this point because it leads to another point, right? Shout out to Trudon. This is probably one of the best comments that we've had today. Since Davies is on that 2-pack Coachella wave, not really real. That's what I wanted to say as well in terms of kind of Davies. Like, what's going on? I think we haven't got long, and I know this is going to be a very contentious subject. So let me just get into it, because I think it will pull everything together. When I say Mane is on the decline, I do think he is on the decline. And I don't think it's his fault. In actual fact, I think it's our fault. I think if you had any car and you run it into the ground for 4 years without servicing it properly, I think it's going to be on the decline. And this is what I'm saying is our overusage and our over-reliance. It's clear to see now that we need, like, I'm picking up on what Bizzo said. He said that we haven't got the right cogs in the machine. And we're using different cogs to it's just not working. So we're away from getting back to having the right cogs in the machine to just chug along. And then we're somewhere away from having proper, now it's working. Let's get something a bit better for that and that. What I'm saying is there's a lot of work that needs to be done to this team. Right now we sit, 7th or something? 8th. And it's looking with the team. It's, yeah. But you know what? You know where I'm going. It looks like we're probably going to be slightly lower because of, you know, the games in hand and that. And we've all already come out, each one of us, I've given everyone the opportunity, and we've all come out and said, nah, we're not getting top 4. With the owners that we have, how confident are we? And this is why I said the Mane thing, just because our owners are going to have to do a lot of investment of their own back. And I've always heard a lot of like, oh, you know, Salah instead of Mbappe. And I've always been like, no, none of them. And then I've watched and I thought, actually, you know what? We might be onto a trick. Think if we were wise and above the curve and actually it was Mane and we could get the right type of money, because I would love all three, but I don't think we're going to have all three and have FSG who are going to finance us, do you know what I mean, adequately. So I'm posing this lot. I'm posing, that's what I'm posing to you.
I think with FSG, yeah, they've literally got 3 options, yeah, as a business. The first one, yeah, which would be ideal, is they reinvest into the squad, and that way they know the squad will do better next season, and that will avoid them losing a lot of money. And don't forget, coronavirus has hit them pretty hard as a company. The second option, yeah, is
coronavirus has hit everyone though. Come on, say
that's true. But the second option, yeah, is they don't reinforce the squad, and we're going to start plummeting down eventually to the point where they're going to have to sack Klopp because it's the only logical option they'll have left. And if they have to do that, yeah, I don't think they will do that. I don't think they'll do that. They've got a third option as well, which I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
But no, with the second option, it's going to work out too expensive for them because Klopp's salaries are a lot, yeah. And then, his payout fee is quite a lot. On top of that, where are you going to find another manager like Klopp? You're talking about if it went to that stage, you're looking at 3-4 seasons before we see even a decent Liverpool again. I think, anyways. Sorry, the third option now, I remembered it, is if they sell in summer while they bought the value of the club so high up. And I don't think they're going to maximize the value of the club if they were to sell it this summer. So I think as a business, their best investment would be to invest in a few good players and maybe sell a few good players. But I think
that will happen though, Safe. It'll be like a medium. It'll be like so see what they've done this year. They'll be saying a big summer like Mbappe, but it might be like a Neto and then maybe a few like one decent signing, like he's a great player, but like a few of them, and then it'll be like maybe look on paper it's 5 players or 4 players for positions, but I think they'll just do enough so the fans won't kick off, but they won't do what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? That's what I agree, mate. I 100% think that will happen.
Unfortunately, they're a very American-style company, and they follow the whole Moneyball system and everything, where they look at stats as opposed to actually what they like for us here. You might look at a player like on a Sunday league pitch, like you go Hackney
Marshes,
sorry, and you'll see someone playing 11-a-side football, and you'll be like, that guy's got the quality. Stick him in the academy, see what he's worth. They'll be like, no, pull out the paper, look at the stats. How much is he covering? Blah 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 blah. All right, this guy's going to be worth this much. But he could be worth about this much in 3 years' time. That's the guy we're going to go for. And that's why we've seen them pick up players that really weren't much before, like Robbo, and they've become something special.
Disagree. Robbo was very good. He scored against England when he played for Hull. So that's a false statement. But okay, I'm
you can't tell a Scotsman that Robbo weren't good, bro. Come on.
But he made I wouldn't say Liverpool made them a lot better, but Liverpool saw in them what a lot of other people didn't. Or FSG rather.
That's okay, Safe. That's like I think see like the actual Moneyball. If you watch the movie as well, I know that. But see the actual style way of that. It's great, like in the sense of not the money part, obviously, but no. What I mean is getting players who fit a system for cheap is amazing. That can be so effective. Problem is, it's Moneyball and it's sell to buy. It's not just a case of right, we make profit here, but we put a bit of our own money to get 2 free players in who are maybe like 20-30 million instead of 60 million, and then. But it suits our system. But the problem is, it's that and the fact that they're not going to spend any money unless they sell someone. So I actually don't think the idea of Moneyball is a problem with Moneyball. I think you can do it properly. Like Mane, Jota, they're great signings. Our analysts are probably amazing. Like the scouts have proved that they can find gems. But it's the fact that they do that, all that hard work, and then it's like a championship team. You need to keep selling your best player.
Right, sorry guys, 1 second. Theo, let me just kick it to you. We've got some very, very I'm telling you, it's hard to get a word in. So I want to make sure, I want to hear what you've got to say, man. Listen, we're all, do you know what I mean? We all see things slightly different. We're all slightly older. I'd like to know what like a younger, do you know what I mean? What's your thoughts on on a subject like our owners. What do you think is do you know what I mean? Tell me. Do you think we'll get the right investment? Do you think? Do you know what I mean? Take it away.
See, I don't know. Like with FSG, I think there is definitely a case for the they need to back Klopp more for sure, and stuff like that. But I feel like especially this season, they have taken quite a lot of the blame for things that they aren't really in control of.
Such as.
Well, like we'll be on we'll be like losing games, and I'll go on Twitter and I'll just say, oh, this is down to FSG, when it's the same players that were playing last season and won the league, so it doesn't really make sense to blame that on them. But like, I can see sometimes where they're coming from when I see things like it took us until right at the end of January to get players like Kabak and because
I think you know what it is, right? Some people on Twitter, obviously with the characters that you're given, don't have the mind space or the time to really explain their point. But I think, and I'm just gonna step in there, but like when you look at our bench and you look at the people that we've got to like change a game, like the Milners or the, do you know what I mean? I think what they're trying to say is we're in this position ultimately due to a lack of investment prior, and I want to know what's your thought. I mean, would you agree with that, or would you? Do you know what I mean? What would you?
I mean, yeah, I would definitely agree with that in terms of like we haven't had the money to put in spend on squad depth. When if you look at the City's bench, like their bench alone is would be challenging for the title, and then you look at ours, and while we have got some good players on our bench, we've also got the likes of our backup right back is Nico Williams, and like while Nico Williams is young and he could be a good player, I feel like we need in certain areas we need people better. Same with striker as well as backup, so that when a player like Trent, like he was earlier in the season and still now partly, and Firmino aren't playing, to challenge them for their spot in the team. Because now, say Firmino has a bad game, he's like, oh, yeah, like, I've had a bad game, but there's no one really challenging me to get the spot in the team. So that's my opinion on it, really.
No, I get that. There was I think it was Trudon had a comment in here saying that this is the one. FSG Fire Sale 2.0 is what I fear. They did this with the Red Sox after they won the World Series. Is anyone else kind of feeling that in terms of how confident are we that we're going to be able to keep hold of the players in which we need to keep hold of, and also add the additions in that we need to, is what I guess I'm trying to get at.
Well, I just want to ask about that. Does he mean we're going to get rid of like a lot of players?
When he says fire sale, yeah, like we'll get rid of Mane, we'll get rid of Salah, we'll cash in on our. I
think if they do that, yeah, it shows that they don't buy so much into the culture of the club. Because as a club, I feel like we've had players at the club a lot longer than other clubs do, if that makes sense. And the thing is, I'm just saying that off the cuff. I haven't looked at stats or anything, but I feel like players that come to the club, they don't just play at the club, but they become a part of it. And if they were to do that, I mean, I know I keep criticizing their American mentality, but I feel British sports is very different. And I'm very worried that they would do something like that. Because really, to be honest, yeah, after speaking with you guys, I realized that my mentality is different. I might not be right, I might not be wrong. But everyone
broken safe. Oh, no.
I know, bro. I can't even think straight anymore. But no, what's it? Everyone comes with different opinions. To be honest, they're all very, very valid opinions. Like yours about Mane, yeah? And the thing is, like, we can all like sit here and think about the future, but none of us really know the reality of it. It could be the state that next season we keep Mane and he's worse than he is this season. And I'll be sitting there thinking, you know what? Saint saw this from all the way back in March. And, bro, what's wrong with this guy? But it could also go the other way, yeah?
Yeah, no, you're right.
ISL, I just feel like that's a very businessy sort of thing to do. Do you know when it's like a proper actual commercial business where something's not going right? They'll get rid of a lot of the managers and bring in a whole new bunch of professional young people or whatever. But I feel like with football, it's very different. And also, it makes me feel more like a customer to FSG and Liverpool as opposed to a fan. And I feel like that's a big problem because we create attachments with our players and team and everything like that. And I'm not going to lie, yeah, I need to shoot for like 5-10 minutes. If you're still like,
listen, no, we'll be done by about 6 just gone
Yeah,
after
I'm really
6.
sorry, man.
Thank you, man. No, don't be silly, man. Listen, it was
big love, man.
thank
I
you
really
for having
enjoyed
us,
it.
man. Guys, please make sure you're going over to your official Saves channel and
Thank you, man.
subscribing
Oh, it's
and that,
been
man.
so much
Please.
for you lot, man.
Love.
Same. I'm gonna have to do the same. Sorry, bro. I'll be back.
No worries at all, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much for sticking with
No
us,
worries.
man.
Yeah. Take care, guys. I'll speak to you soon.
See you, Virgil. Take care, bud.
Yeah.
Conroy, before we go, like we've only got sort of 10 minutes. What's your thoughts on where we go? What FSG have to do in order to, because we can pretty much sit here and say, regardless of what you think of one player or another player, our team is in need of bolstering.
Don't say rebuilding, though. That's the thing. People
I never
get
said
that.
rebuilding.
No,
I said
not
most.
you. Not you. But I'm saying I hear that all the time. Like a rebuild's so different to a case of if you've got players who can work and then you put a Jota, like a few Jota signings, if that makes sense. That's not going to work out every time, but it puts competition. But the thing I'm worried about, Nick, the big thing I'm worried about is, see right now, Liverpool are very good at when they wanted to. There's two arguments. Say if we make this argument, he could say that if Liverpool try to boycott FSG or anything like that, there'll be 20 million fans who'll take their season ticket waiting for them in their place, which is true. Like people will, but there's also another thing. Remember with the £70 tickets, the away ticket, the home tickets. Liverpool boycotted. But see right now, as much as fans don't want to admit it, you're kind of. I'm not saying you're not able to do stuff, but you're minimised because if you're not in the stadium, you can't make yourselves heard. You can maybe do several things, but see if Liverpool weren't happy.
You don't have the power that you once did.
Yeah, they would just say, right, we're all leaving at this time, boycott, there you go, and then they'll have to do something. That's why I'm maybe a bit more worried about the summer than I have previously, because everyone can sell a player, like a Salah, that can happen, but if you're in the stadium, they'll feel the pressure, the heat that they need to replace him. I mean, even though they continue, right, you can say what you want, but they got Van Dijk and Alisson. So at the end of the day, even if you don't like FSG, you need to say that's fair enough. It helped the team. That's what I'm worried about, because this summer, that fire sale point, I've never thought about that as much. I don't think it'll be to the same extent as the Red Sox. However, possibly, mate. I'm a bit worried because I think
that's why I started thinking of the Mane stuff. That's what made me think. I was like, man, I think we're gonna have to let go of one of these three. And I started thinking, and then I just started thinking, and then I started watching Mane, and then I started thinking, like Cristiano Ronaldo, like when, like Cantona, when these teams have let go of these, like they've always been ahead of the curve. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, maybe
I would say Salah would be the one for that, though. If it's going to be anybody, I'm not saying I want to sell Salah, but he's the only one who's going to get that money for. But you don't think we'd get big money for Mane? Well, Cristiano Ronaldo, Van Nistelrooy, all were at top form when teams signed them 10 years ago, probably. Mane's in terrible form. I'm not saying so. You're going to let him go for what? 60 million? No one's going to pay more than 30 million for Bobby Firmino. That's facts. I can't see anybody paying more than that.
That's facts. Yeah. That's why he doesn't even come up in because he's not gonna.
It's not. So it's really the two. For me, you need Salah because I've spoken about this before. Like he's not technically brilliant, but he's so effective. Like he is what he is. He's brilliant.
Right.
We had a laugh at that night. He is an enigma, but he is what he is, and just accept it. It's a lot easier. But when I think about Salah and I think about a COVID pandemic, and I understand people still got money, but they're probably, you maybe take 30, 20 mil over what your estimation is. I still think you can get big money for Salah, and I'm not saying that I want that, but I think FSG will look at that. And if you're thinking about a Coutinho, if that's what they're thinking, a sell to buy method, the only one close to getting that type of money is Mo Salah. So that's what I'm worried about. Because I don't think anybody's going to pay 80 million for Mane right now, even if people love him and still think they could get him back. What age is Mane? 28?
20, he'll turn 29.
29.
Next year.
So maybe no.
I was hoping like a 60, like
no.
65.
I think 60 is probably realistic, mate. But how much can you realistically get with 60 million nowadays in football? It's different. Jota's 40 million, and Jota's a good signing.
But with Michael Edwards at the helm, do you know what I mean? What about I saw like a chat, and I'd been thinking about it. What like Newcastle get relegated, then like what's his name? ASM.
He's good, but it doesn't always work out.
what's his name? Maximum. You know the
Say
one I mean?
Maxim.
Yeah.
That guy said, Paul Merson said Saint Maxim, and he was like, no, it's not.
No, it's not quite alright.
No, there's good players out there, mate. There is good players out there. I wouldn't turn that down. But you know what, safe? Nick. You know what? You might actually be. See if Manny was in good form this year. I think your shout could be quite spot on. But then a lot of people would say last year. A lot of people would say sell Salah over Manny. A lot of people said that for years because performance-wise, you watch like Salah's no like amazing performer. People need like he has great games now and again, but it's just effective. So it's like it's. But now we're looking at
Jota. I'm just glad that now I've got people thinking a little bit more because
you bought Jota though. But you bought Jota. The thing you buy in Jota, it's like does if you done that, does Jota go in there and then you have to get another Jota type? Do you know what I mean? A Jota signing. But then Cal would if Cal from Copper shout out if he's watching this, he's going to say get Pedro Neto because he's 19. Whatever you do, if you pay 60 million, you're going to get a sell-on value, or you're going to get 10 years of his career. So I think Pedro Neto will
I'm
happen.
as confident. I'm not as confident with like Jota and Neto. I don't know. There's something about Matt. It is. I'm sitting here like, no, sell him. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, what is man? No, do you know what I mean? Like, I
think Manny will come good, mate. I think Manny will come good next season. I think just like he maybe needs taking out the team though for quite an extensive time, like a couple of games, and just let Jota start. And that will happen when Jota gets fit. But it's just because Jota's not. Definitely. He's kind of fit, but you saw the last 10 minutes. Jota is. I don't know if you actually watch the intelligence of Jota, but his movement, he just drops into wee pocket spaces like David Silva sometimes. It's like,
I'm telling you.
I'm not saying he's I'm just saying he's
no, I know exactly what you mean. And it's annoying because it's like, pass him the flipping ball. This is what I mean. Like, we touch it so much. I'm like, he's right there. Just let it go and run. Give him an outlet. Do you know what I mean? Move a defender with you. Like, do something. Oh, bro. Like, you say it. I'm stealing your tagline. Football is not... It's not rocket science, man. Like it's
not to work out the basics and be effective. Do you know what I mean? If you want to play like Guardiola, you obviously have to.
There's levels. But
look at Fulham.
Come on, man.
Fulham know their patterns of play. You said that was it, mate. That was it, Nick. Your video, you spoke about patterns of play, and I couldn't sum it better myself. Like patterns of play sounds like this big enigma thing, but all it really is you go to do a job. And you practice that so you know what areas you're trying to hit. Now, Fulham identified Nico Williams and went at there, but it wasn't a case that they took 5 touches. They just got a chance and played the ball. And I'm not even talking about the high line. Like they just played it constantly, and you could tell that they've been working on that all week. Now that's when it starts to worry me that it's a small maybe team mentality to think you look at your team, but I do think a lot of coaches look at teams' weaknesses and how they can exploit certain players or whatever. So the fact that Liverpool look like they've not even, and I'm sure they are trying, I 100% believe Klopp's probably doing 15-hour shifts trying to work out a formula, but it's just not working. And I think I've just started to accept it, guys. And the only thing is, people say we can win the Champions League. You know, it's Liverpool, we can do anything, but you can't switch that off and on. It's very difficult, performance to be like, let's do it now. And then if you talk about the centre-backs, what if you get a good team with a good strike force who are competent? They're just going to highlight that and just attack that, and then that's when your guys like Phillips, who I like, but you're going to see their weaknesses against like a top team like a City or a Munich. They're just going to exploit that. So I think it's about getting the performance better again. That's the main thing right now, a bit of performance and consistency.
Yeah.
But, I think you're right, man. Would you? What? Before we get out of here, very quickly, let's do a quick lineup for Wednesday. Theo, what are you saying? Are we all in agreement? Alison?
Yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. Same. I mean, Nico's not getting. Nico's definitely not making it on the pitch after that performance. So it's going to be
Nick, we spoke about that. We spoke about Nico on Friday, and I know you think like I'm the one statement guy, and that's me. But Nico Williams, right? A right back is, as Theo said, it's quite obvious. A right back who's in the team is meant to just step in when he needs to step in, and there's no debate. So I don't understand. It's what it is. It's a sentiment with Liverpool fans, and I get it. But that guy needs to go and play at a club and get some experience, because he can't keep doing little performances here and there. And then
just coming in and expecting you to be the next guy.
Yeah, because he's not good enough yet. He needs to get experience.
Do you think that that's a Klopp thing? Because he kind of expects that. I mean, we see the same thing with Origi. oh mate, there's 2.5 minutes, go and get us a goal. It's like, bro, like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? What do you think, Theo?
Yeah, I mean, especially this season, there has sort of been a pattern with that, and it was similar with Minamino. Like, he didn't get much game time, and then he had a brilliant game against Palace, and then next thing he's loaned him out. And then like, yeah, it just like, yeah, I think
there's times when we're all screaming for a change, and it's like, come on, man. And it's like, I don't know. I think obviously Klopp's got a lot to answer for in terms of his team selection, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
Hearing what Conroy's saying about that, and then it just makes me think. I'm like,
I think he's very much. His coaches are very much like they're infatuated or obsessed sometimes, aren't they? Like Guardiola, I'd say, has took his hand off the gas a bit, off the gear stick this year. I don't know if it's personal. I'm not saying that, but he seems to be not as obsessed. Like, he still wants to win, but he seems to. If he loses, he loses. He's like yesterday, he's lost. That's it. It's done. Forget about it.
Yeah.
And he never used to be like that. It used to keep him up, and he does look a lot healthier. But I don't know if I may be like talking rubbish here, but when you watch him, I've seen interviews when they lost last season, and he just started accepting it. So I don't know if that's maybe made his footballing ability better because he can let things go. But a lot of those managers are very much like, this is the game plan, it's going to win. But I don't understand, because Alex Ferguson is literally the best manager ever, and he literally used to put 4 strikers on to win a game with 10 minutes to go, and accepted the tactics are out the window. It's just about winning this game. I don't care about.
But that's
style of
exactly
play.
it. Well, that's
Like,
exactly. I think
it's not
we
very
now
comes
want
into
to be
football sometimes,
infatuated.
Yeah.
We come in and we're infatuated with, like, you know, styles of play and all of this, and we forget. I think the basics is to win the flipping get the points. Do you know what I mean?
Especially when it's not working, mate. It's like, style's great, but you need to just accept that plan's gone now. We're 1-0 down. How do we get back in the game? And maybe that's an issue with Liverpool, because they've been drumming this style into them for 3 years. It's a bit like if you look at Rangers now with Michael Beale was a Liverpool coach. It's a similar style. And for 2 years, they never really they fell away. But this season, they've been amazing. So maybe the argument is it will come good because we believe in it. And maybe there's people out there, you could probably say, well, that's the right attitude as well. It's a good debate. It is a good debate.
It's a good one. Now, we don't really have the time to go into. So, finishing off this team, I would say in terms of centre-backs, we go back to the centre-backs. Who's fit? I mean, we're going to have to wait and see who's fit. I'd say Phillips and... You want to help me out with the other one?
I think it'll be Fabinho. I know you don't want to hear that. I think he'll put Fabinho as centre-back against Leipzig.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah,
I think you're probably right against Leipzig. Yeah, I think he probably will. So then that would leave what, Genie as a 6, a Thiago I would expect because it's Europe, and then say like a Jones. No, either Keita or Jones for me. I would think. What about you?
I want to see Keita. I think he plays well against Fulham. I think for me he was our best player, and I think he got. Where he got brought in yesterday was that was like the first time Klopp's changed the formation in a while, and that was his first game in a while. So I think if you put him in that formation that he's used to playing at Liverpool, then I think he definitely could create more, and I think we could definitely see him create some link-ups and maybe get a goal or assist by linking up the play. And I think he's a brilliant player, and I was talking to Saif on my channel a few weeks ago about how good he is and how we haven't got to see him because of his injuries. But I think if he can have a consistent run with no injuries, then I think he will be a brilliant player for us. I just hope that he's lucky with injuries now.
So what would you say in terms of your 3 then? Would you say it's the same but with Keita? Would you say? Sorry, go on, Conrad.
Oh no, so I was going to agree with you. I was going to say that the only thing I would change that is I thought Jones was good against Leipzig in the first leg. I think he might, because it's the only thing I'd say. I agree with Keita and maybe against his old team. Good shout, mate. Wouldn't be surprised if that happened. The only reason I think he'll play Jones is Jones has not really done anything wrong, and he played well against Leipzig. And so I think it will be Jones, Thiago, and Gini. But do you know what? If it's Keita, I've not really got an issue with that. It'll be one or the other.
Yeah.
Front 3. Does Mane come back for this one? Does he continue on the bench?
He's done nothing to get back in the team, did he? But he probably will because Klopp's got his favourites.
I'm saying
Yeah.
I'm calling the front three as it is. Mane, Bobby, and Salah. Unfortunately, and
You're
I
playing
think
Jota. I think Jota has to
Jota, yeah, I
play.
think Jota for Firmino.
You may
I
be
don't
right,
know.
Nick. You may be right, mate.
No, I'm just trying to go into Jurgen's head. Do you know? Do you know what it is? I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that.
He can't just drop him in the way. He can't just drop him. It's got to
Do you
be.
see what I
at
mean? He
drop
has
him.
to be at the
Why
exactly.
is he not playing? Because he's not. Because he's been. He's not going to say that, but just say we're giving him a rest.
Even when he
Don't
dropped
say
him,
it's an injury.
even when he remember when he kind of fitted him in
Man
last time,
City,
and just
just drop him.
he
Just drop him. Like you don't have
has
to.
a problem, man.
It's not like you're sacking him from the club. Just say you've not been good. You need to drop. Like it's crazy.
I mean, I think he's going to go there. What would you? What if not? What would you say? What Mane sits out and you put Jota there, or how would you? What would you?
100% he'll play Firmino, and he always does. He'll play Firmino, Salah, Jota. I think he's not going to try the Shaqiri thing again. I think it'll be that. And if Firmino's fit or whatever, if he's injured, whatever, if he's available. If not, I think it'll be actually Mane, Salah, Jota sounds quite good actually. If they were fluid against Atlanta, that was quite good.
And then what? Yeah, and then what? Have Salah in the mid as through the
No,
middle.
I'd have Jota in the middle because Jota was the
Yeah,
best
Jota.
linking up. But that can change. He can change that during the game. It
Yeah,
doesn't have to be-
yeah. Well, no, Conroy. That is very much the type of football I would like us to play, where it's changing and fluid during the game. But in all
doesn't
honesty,
happen.
I don't think. Yeah, it doesn't happen exactly. Let me just fire through some of these comments. Klopp is too stubborn. He needs to change, like Pep did. Cater against his old club. And Channel LFC has said Jota, Firmino, Salah. Listen, guys, thank you ever so much for joining me, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. It was it was a bit crazy at some times, but listen, we got through it,
That was
man.
great, mate. Thanks very much, mate.
Yeah, it's good.
Nah, don't be silly, man. Thank you, Theo, man. Listen, we let's just shake these vibes off. We've got a new competition, one that I think probably all eyes are going to be concentrated on. So hopefully, do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
We come and we blow them out of the water. Thanks everyone who's been in here, who's been rocking with us. Everyone that's been in the chat, loved it. Please drop subscribe, drop a like. Make sure you go over to Theo Woods FC. Am I right?
Theo Woods LFC. Is what it is.
Theo Woods LFC. Make sure you go over there and subscribe. Guys, gonna be putting me out of a job soon. And a couple people that said in the chat, mate, I'm on Conroy every single day. Like, bro, when you gonna start this channel? When you gonna start this channel? So eventually when he does, eventually when he does, do you know what I mean? He'll be up. But they can get you on Instagram, no?
Twitter, mate. Aye, so just at _ Conroy H. Yeah, and get me on Twitter.
No worries. Listen, thanks. It was an absolute pleasure, guys. And
thanks, mate.